This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's continue. Yeah. Recording. And we have discussed all this. This is done. Okay, we need to next is final is discussed. Of course, one more thing in the last class we had discussed about final variables, final methods, final classes. But the difference is in Java, final is used to declare a variable as a constant. In Scala, final variables cannot be overridden. To declare a constant or to make it immutable, we use val. Val is useful for that. So we cannot modify it. If you cannot modify something, then usually we consider that as a constant. Okay. But final, why do we use final? If you don't want to override a variable, we can apply final. If you don't want to override method, declare method as final. If you don't want to inherit a class, declare it as final. Okay. Now the next one in Scala is abstract classes. It's a simple thing. We don't have much to discuss. And let me explain with the example. Straight away with an example, let's understand this abstract class concept. All the pros and cons, and also we will just walk through the official document as well for one time, so that if we miss anything, any important things any rules or anything important, still we have an opportunity to recover such things. Okay, got it right? So hope you are ready for that, right? Right. So now, what is an abstract class? Let's take with examples. I don't want to burden you with what is that? I don't want to burden you. Oh, one more thing here, I would like to talk about this override keyword with you. Yes. Anyhow, I can also discuss this with you. When can I discuss this? I can discuss this showing builder. Even, but this is not working. But I have seen this using in our project code also, this override annotation. Somehow it's not getting supported. I'll check and update. You don't need to worry about that at this time, because discussion point is not about override for now. But I will for sure I will talk on this. Okay, leave about this now. Now we can have marriage or we can remove marriage. Anyhow, marriage is just to understand overriding concept, that method. But the point is not about marriage, but the concept. But the example is just to understand overriding easily. It understand overriding in a simple way. That's all. Now, what is an abstract class? This class, you can call this as concrete class. If you look at this, this is a concrete. So far, I didn't have anything inside that. If I don't have anything inside that, we can call this as a concrete for now. But of course, you don't need to have anything. If you want to just declare a class, that is fine. So in this case, what is this, sir? This is a concrete class. And right, in a concrete class, you should declare all concrete methods. Okay, for example, you see here something like def m1 colon subunit. For now, I am not written just to show you quick examples. That's all. Okay. I understand my mistake. Return type should not have parentheses. That's actually a mistake. Okay. Just print it. Say what is that? Something like hello. Right. And another method. Okay. Let's have one more method. Something like hi. Another method if you want. Just change the signature method name here. And another method. So we have a couple of methods in this class. All these are concrete methods because every method is implemented here. Every method has a body. And we don't find methods without body here, correct? And such methods we call them as concrete methods. A method with body are called what? Sorry. A method with the body, you call them as what? A concrete method. And all others are concrete methods. Okay, I'm just making this as by just to show some difference. Now, all these methods are concrete methods, and this class is a concrete class because this class have all implemented methods. All methods have body, and such class you call it as concrete. Suppose I remove body for this method. I remove it. Now immediately when I remove a body here, there's nothing wrong in this. You can declare a method without body. And in that case, such method is called as what? It is abstract method. What is this? It is a abstract method. No body, abstract method. With body, concrete method. Clear? Now, but once I remove this body to the method M3, as soon as I do that, immediately you can see a compilation error here with class here. Because this is a concrete class, sir. And a concrete class cannot have abstract method as per the designing of these classes. Now you go and just read the error, put the cursor on that error. It's clearly saying class A1 needs to be abstract since method M3 is not defined. Can you see that? Means what? Means if you want to declare an abstract method in a class, then such class should be declared as abstract. And concrete class cannot have abstract methods. So now either I should not declare abstract method, or either I should make this class as abstract. Okay, got it, right? So my choice is declaring this as abstract because I want an abstract method in my class. Okay, do you get my points here? Now the question is, if it is concrete class allows only concrete methods, no abstract methods. But what about abstract class? If you look at this program, if you look at this class has abstract methods and concrete methods. Means what? And I didn't see any error there, no compilation errors. Means what? An abstract class can have both concrete methods and abstract methods. Correct? But a concrete class must have only concrete methods. Following this. Right. This is simple idea. I hope you got clarity now. So what is an abstract class? Class declared with abstract keyword. And when should I declare a class as abstract? If I should declare, or if I want to declare an abstract method in a class, then I should declare that class as what's an abstract class. You got my point? Then I can declare that class as abstract. Then I should declare that class as abstract. Got my point? This is simple idea. So this is quick observations. Okay, let us just add few points here. I am removing all this because this is copied from somewhere. Let's make it just simple, not to make it. I don't want that theory. Just I want to write in my own words. First. So what is an abstract class? Point one. A class declared as abstract. Simple point. Right? Second point. When should I declare an abstract class? If we should declare an abstract method in a class, then the class must be abstract. If we want an abstract method in a class, then such class should be declared as what? Abstract. Just make it simple. Okay, that is one more important. Third one, what is an abstract method? What is an abstract method? That is the next question. Now we know very well, very clearly. A method without a body. A method without body. That's an abstract. So it's just a method signature. Okay. So a method signature, just a method signature is nothing but is an abstract method. Okay, that is another important point. Next one. So there are a few more observations. Now the example is this. After looking at this program, we can easily understand this is an abstract, right? So, and this is an abstract. As I had declared abstract method, this class is declared as abstract. Now what do you do? Just copy this. A simple example, not the whole part. Okay, paste it. Got it, right? Now there are few points we need to add to this after this. Now, if you declare method as abstract, then this has abstract methods. Okay, fine. Now the question is, when should we provide implementation to abstract method? Suppose if it is a method signature, just a method signature, it is not useful to us, sir. Method is useful to us only when it has implementation. Got it, right? Because a method without implementation is just a signature. Signature is just, there is no use with signature. So definitely we need an implementation to this. Then where should I do this, provide this implementation? So whenever we have an abstract method since and an abstract class or method signatures like this abstract methods must be overridden. Now you can hear the word overriding again. Now you know the overriding concept, right? You have idea about overriding. Now you must apply overriding. Wherever you have abstract methods in an abstract class, so we should override abstract methods of abstract class in a child class, in a subclass, in a derived class. So what is another important point here? Abstract methods of abstract class are overridden or implemented in a subclass. You get my point? Might be you can ask me, sir, if I don't override, what happens? It is a rule, sir. We must, when I say must means rule, or we should, it is a rule. Okay. So we should override abstract method of abstract classes in a subclass. Then Srikanth asked me a question. What if I don't override in subclass? Suppose I extend this to a subclass, some class B1. Extends what? A1. Now what did I tell you? You must override abstract methods of the super abstract class in a subclass. Now you see, I extended that to subclass, A1 to subclass, and we have abstract methods here, and I'm not overriding them. Now immediately B1 has an error here. Can you see? Yes, it is showing an error here. So what is that it says? Let's read the error now. B1 need to be abstract since M3 in class A1 of type is not defined. Means what? See, rule is very clear. One thing is we must override this abstract method which is inherited from parent to child, that is M3, which is inherited to parent to child. We must override it. We should implement it. Okay, something like this. Give a body. Implement whatever business logic you want as per the requirement. Okay, I say this as something like buy. Okay. So now no issues. All is well. But what did I do? Suppose here we don't have a problem. But suppose I don't override like this. I'm not overriding it. Now I kept this abstract method as is. As is, sir. As space is. That is a usually catchy word we use in regular terminologies. As is. Now this is inherited as is. When abstract method is inherited to subclass as is, means what? Even in subclass there is an abstract method. Everybody has to agree that. Correct? Means what? Directly or indirectly, if an abstract method exists in a class, might be you can directly declare in a class, or it might get inherited from parent class or superclass. Directly or indirectly, if you have any abstract method in a subclass, then that class also must be declared abstract. Means what? I should declare this also abstract, sir. You get my points? Then again you can ask me, then what about the M3, sir? When does we provide implementation for M3, sir? When do you provide override? I mean implementation. Then the answer is, again at the bottom of hierarchy, you need one concrete subclass. If you want to override, right? If you are, then definitely what is that? Somewhere at the bottom of the hierarchy, you need a subclass for B1 as well again. And this this abstract method of B1 inherited from A1, this M3, that we can override in its subclass, B1 subclass. Suppose I say class C1 extends, okay, B1. Okay. Now now I declare this B1 as abstract. Now, even though you didn't declare this abstract method here in B1, by default that is inherited to what? Implicitly that got inherited to B1, the subclass B1. Now, whose responsibility is that to override that M3 now? Now B1 is inherited to C1. Now again the same abstract class is inherited to C1. Now what should I do? Even the responsibility is given to C1 now. Even if C1 doesn't take that responsibility, C1 becomes abstract. See what's happening here? What's the point here? Rule is simple. If you have abstract method in a superclass, then that has to be implemented in a subclass, immediate subclass. And if immediate subclass is not taking that responsibility, then the next subclass has to take that responsibility. Again, if it is also not taking, again the next subclass. This goes like that. But anyhow, we don't go that far to do implementation for a subclass. Usually it happens in the immediate subclass, or at least the next level of subclass. We don't leave it as is, okay, because that is not a good programming practice. You got my point, right? But I'm just trying to make you understand, like, so the roles and responsibilities of abstract classes and its subclasses. What should be there in abstract class? Who should override abstract method? Suppose subclass don't override abstract method, then who will take the next overriding responsibility? The next subclass. This goes like that. But usually that doesn't go that far. Got my points here? So now let me add few points before we do this code. Also here with abstract class, we can add few more points there. What is that? Just now by looking at the code, we don't need to derive our points from theory. Let's derive points from program. If you look at this code, an abstract class can have both abstract methods as well as what is that, concrete methods. It can have both, sir. You can add any number of abstract methods here, any number of concrete methods here. There is no issue. But usually that doesn't happen. It depends on the requirement. How many abstract methods should be there? How many concrete methods should be there? It's all the requirement. Okay, so now you see, sir. Point is, but one thing is, an abstract class can have, what is that, sir? It can have both. Can means what? If you want, you can put it. Otherwise, you can leave it like that. Both abstract methods and what, sir? And concrete methods. You understand, sir? Okay. But if abstract method is there, that class must be abstract class. Next one. Another important point about abstract class. So I think you got few of these things, right? We have discussed very important rules here. Another rule. What is that? This is not a rule. This is This is something what we can, we may or may not do this. Rule means you must follow. This is an optional thing. You might have abstract methods or concrete methods, no issues. It can have both. Suppose you can ask me, sir, I don't have abstract method, any problem? No problem. Or, sir, I don't want concrete methods here, any problem? No problem. Sir, I don't want both here, no problem. Usually we don't put it like that. I'm just giving you some idea. You can have empty abstract class, but of no use. So, okay, you want only abstract method in abstract class, it's fine. You want both abstract methods and concrete methods, that is also fine. You want only concrete methods in abstract class, it is also fine. See how beautiful abstract class is. It's very amicable, very friendly, not like concrete class. I'm just giving you a quick idea. Got it, right? So now, anyhow, just leave it like that. Keep it our example like that. Okay. So that is another point. Another point is another important. Where should we override abstract method of this superclass? Usually, one more important point. Most of the time, in 99% cases, abstract classes behave as a superclass. Their position is always a superclass in most of the scenarios. Got it, right? So now the point is, where should we override abstract method of a parent? I mean superclass. Another important point. We must override abstract method of a superclass in its immediate subclass. We must override all abstract method. How many are there? All the methods must be overridden in the subclass. If we have abstract method in abstract class, method of an abstract class. Maybe we can remove this super because by default it will be in the position of superclass. Abstract class in its immediate subclass. No, why I am typing all this, because I want you to get very clearly. I want you to understand clearly so that even when I am typing, you can recall it, so that makes you more comfortable and hands-on for you. Otherwise, what, sir? If you don't do that, what happens? Even the subclass has to be declared as what, sir? Has to be declared as a what, sir? Abstract. You don't override in subclass. The subclass also becomes abstract. Then who will take the responsibility? The next level subclass. That is also not overriding. That has to be declared as abstract. But somewhere in the hierarchy, some concrete class must exist, and that some concrete class must override all the abstract methods of parent. Got it, right? So this is the idea about what is that abstract. Another important. This is a rule, sir. You must follow this. Here, this is optional. You can have abstract methods. You can have concrete methods. It's up to you, sir. Okay, next one. Another important. You know, sir, whenever we say something as abstract, means what? It's not fully implemented. Somewhere we have a possibility of having abstract methods. When you don't have complete implementation for a class, then we cannot create object for such classes. Got it, right? Why? Because if you declare a class as abstract, possibly in majority of the scenarios, because abstract class is designed for that, it might have abstract methods. When you have abstract method, then it's not completely implemented. It's just a signature. So what is that now? Means what? When it is not fully implemented for such classes, we don't create objects. Means we cannot instantiate object for abstract classes. See here, sir. Another important point, sir. If you try to create object for abstract class, see here, sir. Try to create an object var space sum a equal to new a1. See, sir. This gives left and right for us. Just read the error, sir. Even the same concept is applicable in Java, sir. It's clearly saying here that abstract class cannot be instantiated. And I have clearly explained the reason as well. It's like a quick example to remember. Suppose if you want to marry, I'm talking about majority scenarios. I'm not talking who is filthy rich or I'm talking about rich kids. Okay. Here, if you want to marry a girl, what is the requirement, sir? You should have a job first, isn't it? Usually, I'm just talking in most of the scenarios. Or you should be settled in life. Assume that job is the criteria here. Without job, will you get married? No fulfillment. Completeness doesn't come without job. I don't mean that having job only you are complete. Just an idea, just to remember. Means what? If you don't have a job, still we are in abstract position. If you have a job, then you become concrete. Got it right? Same thing here. Then if you have abstract methods, then what should we do? Then the point is we cannot marry like that. If you don't have a job, you cannot marry like that. If for this abstract class, you cannot create object because it have unimplemented methods, right? That's the point here. So another important point, we cannot instantiate abstract classes. We cannot instantiate abstract classes. Got it right? You get this, sir? So I clearly told that cannot means it's a rule, sir. You cannot violate the rule. Okay. So these are all important things. One more last thing about abstract class. This is okay. I hope we can complete it today about this abstract class, abstract methods, and few more scenarios. Okay, then we can switch to traits. Another very powerful topic in Scala. Okay. One more thing, sir. We can declare a parameterized constructor with abstract classes. An abstract class can have a parameterized constructor. Then you can ask me a question, sir. If you declare constructor with abstract class, we are not creating object for that. How can we call that constructor? If you create object, then it is called, sir. Then how do you call a parameterized constructor of object abstract class without creating object? That's the question. Then the answer is, then this gets extended to subclass, and when you call subclass constructor, automatically superclass constructor is called. That abstract class constructor is called. Means what? Again here, that calling of this constructor, abstract class constructor, is done by the subclass constructor. You get my point? A subclass constructor will make a call to superclass constructor here in case of this abstract classes. Means when you create object, what happens? The constructor calling of subclass will make a call to constructor of superclass, this abstract class. I think point is very clear, right? So first point, let me add point by point. An abstract class can have what, sir? Parameterized constructor. So you can just take like a colon int. I'm just taking just quick examples, okay? Comma b colon int like this. Now you can see that we don't have any issue at all. Of course, still we cannot instantiate this, sir. And I cannot call this abstract class constructor by creating object. That is not at all possible. Okay. Now, then what should I do, sir? Then the possibility is I should take a class, some b1, and I should say extends a1. Okay. Of course, you can see an error here. We should override this method. That is one thing. Def m3. Okay, colon. Then what's it? Unit. And just override this. and then print something. Print ln of something like buy. Print whatever you like, sir. You don't have any issues here. Okay. Right. Okay, I have overridden this. Now the question is, still after overriding, we have an error. Might be you can ask me, sir, you didn't declare override keyword here. See, this is another important point you should observe. If you override an abstract method in a subclass, then override keyword is not necessary, it's optional. If you are overriding abstract method, then override keyword is not necessary with this overriding method. If you override concrete method, override keyword is must. But if you override abstract method, then override keyword is not necessary. It's optional. If you want, you can add it. That's up to you. Okay, you might think, what is that, sir? You didn't put override keyword here, so we are getting an error. But after that, still I am seeing an error. You know why? Because if you declare parameters with this abstract parent, this abstract class, okay, if you declare a constructor with parameters in abstract class, then while inheriting here, observe this carefully, while inheriting here also you have to declare the same parameters. What is that? You have to delegate those parameters to the child also. So this is fine. Okay, and this similarly here also your B class should also be declared as a with the parameterized constructor. Now it is default, it is using default constructor for now. But now you have to declare two parameters here also. What is that? A colon int comma B colon int. Okay, there is, now you see that the error is removed like that, just like that, it vanished. Clear? Of course, this parameter names can change. You can put X and you can put Y. That is fine. Let me just check it. No, that's not possible. So sometimes the curiosity of one. So it is not allowing even to change parameters. If I try to do that, it gave me left and right for me. That's clearly visible for you also. So if you look at this now, observe these things. When you another important point is we can declare, what is that, sir? We can declare an abstract class with the parameterized constructor. That is one thing. Then how do you inherit it to subclass? When you are having this parameterized constructor with abstract class, then while extending, you have to do the extending like this. You have to delegate those parameters to the subclass because it's the responsibility of subclass to call this constructor of superclass. Then how come the subclass constructor will make a call? It should know how many parameters its parent is having. So how do you do that? So the delegation happens through extend. Delegation means it's like, you know, making a call, sir, or passing something. That is called delegation. Do you understand this, sir? Now you see, sir. Now you see here, I am printing hello plus A plus B. I'm just trying to show you the values of A. Okay, here also hi plus A plus B. Or like this, hello plus A, hi plus B, just for my fun. Anyhow, third one is abstract, no need of any variable for that. Now let us see, when I am passing parameters to through child class object. Let us see what happens. Var space B equal to new B1, something like 10 comma 20. Now you see, sir. See, I am printing A and B. Where I am printing, sir? I am printing in the parent class, in the concrete methods of parent, not in child class. Can you see that, sir? So means what? It is a proof that if it is built trying to print hello 10 and hi 20, means what? The subclass constructor is making a call to superclass constructor, this abstract class constructor. Let us just print and see, sir. B dot M1, B dot M2, B dot Let's call all these methods on B reference. Again, the concept of inheritance is same. That doesn't change. Okay, because the subclass can have access to all its parent class members except private, no doubt about it. So on B class reference, I'm able to call methods of parent class and overridden method of itself. Now you remove this override keyword here, just to explain that, confirm that override keyword is not necessary when you override abstract methods. Override keyword is necessary only when you override concrete methods. Now I don't see any error this time, because earlier the error is with the way I have inherited. If abstract class have parameterized constructor, then while inheriting it, you have to inherit like this. You have to inherit it as a parameterized class, not like a default. And same number of parameters should be present in the subclass constructor as well. Also, let me try to add more out of our curiosity one more time. Does this agree? Yes. See, if I put third one, yes, it's taking. The first two will be treated from per parent. The other one is for child. Suppose I add one more, something like string, name colon string. You can see, sir, means what? Can you see this? This is accepting this. Means what? The subclass constructor must have the same parameters which the parent class is using. Also, it can have additional parameters. This is a proof. Now here I am passing 4 parameters, some 30 comma something like Manohar. Just I am sending. Now no errors, sir. This time 10 and 20 goes to what? AB. This AB is going to be delegated to superclass constructor, and this AB is passed to what? This two. Okay, this is passed to AB here, then they get printed. Let's run this, sir. Just we are trying to do workaround here. We are trying to understand different things here. Should we have only same number, equal number of parameters as parent class, or can we have additional parameters? Yes, that is acceptable here. Second thing, can we have different names here for this delegated parameters, inherited parameters? No, whatever the parameters we have for parent class constructor, same parameters must be declared here in the subclass constructor. Can we change the order? Like, can we put this at the end? Another curious case. And can we add this at the, okay, remove this comma. Can we have this? No, can we change the order of arrangement of parameters with the parent class, subclass constructor? Yes, because it will delegate these values from subclass constructor to parent class through the names by using these names. So there is no confusion at all here. Are you following, sir? Is it clear for all of you? I should run this program finally. The error is we should also change the order of values which we are passing here. Okay, so let's take this. Now run this, sir. Now you tell me, sir. I'm also just printing here by name plus C. Okay. Now you tell me the output, sir. What do you get in M1? What is the output of M1? Output of M2? Output of M3? What happens now, sir? Tell me. What happens here, sir? What is the output of M1 method? What is the output of M2 method? What is the output of M3? Just let's guess the output. Okay. What about others, sir? Let's just run this. Let's see what happens. Can you see, sir? Hello 10, hi 20, by Manohar 30. Got it, right? If you want space, you can add some space in the string itself. That's all, sir. Now just run it again. Now you can see some space as well. Got it, right, sir? After Manohar, if you want some space, just add some like this. You can concatenate a space between these two. Just put it. Got it, right, sir? So this is idea about what is that. So we can declare an abstract class with a parameterized constructor. Okay, that is one thing. Then how do you call it? So when you have a parameterized constructor, while inheriting, we have to extend it like this. Whatever the parameters we have, we should same number of parameters should be delegated to child. So equal number of parameters, same parameters of parent, whichever that is there, must be declared with the child class constructor. At the same time, we can have additional parameters with subclass constructor. And this names cannot change this AB and this AB here, like methods. And what happens now? When I call a subclass constructor in turn will invoke the superclass constructor. This is a very beautiful concept. Because how can you get this output then? Hello 10, hi 20. If subclass is not calling superclass constructor, then there is no possibility of having AB with A with 10 and B 20. Means internally, this subclass constructor is invoking this superclass constructor. Beautiful concept. Got it right, sir? I'm taking this example, just adding it to the notepad. We can add few more points now. What is it? We can declare an abstract class with what, sir? Class with the parameterized constructor. Another point is how to call this parameterized constructor of abstract class. We cannot create object for abstract class. Then who will call this parameterized constructor of abstract class? The subclass constructor of an abstract class will invoke a constructor will invoke or call otherwise. Superclass constructor or abstract class constructor. You can just make it as an abstract class constructor. So we cannot directly call abstract class constructor. How can I call an abstract constructor? Only through the subclass of this abstract class. Okay. We'll invoke a constructor of a abstract class. Another important. And we have discussed pros and cons there and how it happens while inheriting, how you should inherit, how the parameters should be same. Everything has discussed. Okay, we had a very detailed discussion. Okay, first you do one thing, sir, and also we have seen how to override the abstract method in the subclass. And we don't need override keyword when you override abstract, because this whole program has everything in that. The whole concept of abstract class, abstract method, overriding abstract methods, constructor with abstract method, parameterized constructor with parameterized constructor with abstract class, not with abstract method. Okay, every concept related to that is covered in this example. It is all in one example. One shot, 4 words, like that. Got it right, sir? Is it good for all of you now?
This is the indirect approach. Maybe direct approach also we can call, I think.
Directly you can call abstract constructor.
Yeah. So we are extending, right? At the time of extending that subclass, directly we can pass because it's all indirect approach, right? So that's what I think. Directly we can pass that arguments to that abstract class constructor.
But still, that I agree that. But the point is, it is called only when you call subclass constructor, only through subclass constructor, not with
No,
superclass.
not here. I think this is all right. So when you create object, then this invoking this subclass, and then from that subclass to that
You are
superclass abstract class.
you are, you are
So instead
you are
of
talking about.
instead of
I agree. You are talking about something like super method like this.
no. So
Hmm.
A1 is there, right? Extends A1.
You want me to pass direct
You
values
can
to the.
remove. You can remove it directly. Yeah, you can remove it that B1 constructors.
Okay, you
Yeah,
don't.
we don't want it. So that's what direct approach. It seems it works because it's all indirect approach to call that. It is a
Okay,
direct approach.
okay. Let me test it. Let me test it quickly. Okay, name is not necessary. C is also not part of that. Leave it aside. Okay, now let me remove the parameters as well. Which now let me remove all the parameters here. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. This is also fine. But the other case is what? When you have this has parameters. When you have what? When you have the parameters with it, when you are extending super class, this abstract class, if it is declared with parameters, then we must and should declare parameters with subclass. You got it right? Otherwise, if you are passing constant, it is fine. It is agreeing with that. This is also fine. Another use case. Good catch. Thank you. So means what? Nothing. But usually, what is the point of having abstract classes? Abstract class with parameterized constructors is it's a simple concept here. When do we do that? If at all, if you want to delegate parameters from subclass to superclass, usually we take that use case. But another use case is what? If you want to, you can also directly pass some constants when you are extending it. This itself acts as a caller. When you are extending itself, from when you extend to subclass, the subclass itself will again implicitly it will invoke this superclass constructor. Directly it doesn't happen, of course. A subclass implicitly is going to make a call to this. That's it. Okay, fine. Let me add that also. A subclass constructor will invoke constructor of superclass. That is one case. Another use case is, I think even now, if I'm not wrong, implicitly this subclass will, there will be some kind of super keyword if I'm not wrong, something like this. Let me just try this super concept is there here as you raise this point. No, and it has to be in the constructor. Okay, no issues. Another point, let me add one more. So when you have it as arguments, you have to delegate it to subclass. That is one thing. When you don't have arguments, then what is that? We can also pass constants with the abstract class, constants to abstract class. Okay, while
I
extending
think
it.
it won't be useful in real cases, probably in most of the cases. As you defined first, right? Maybe that one is the use case. So
Correct, correct.
because dynamic approach is there, but here static approach is there.
That's what, anyhow, I'll come to that. We have that discussion also here. When should we go for, I have opened it for you only to get. If you want to create a base class constructor that requires constructor arguments, Definitely, what is that? We need this case. What is that? With parameter, not directly taking as constants. When you have a parameter, definitely while extending, subclass would have a parameter. This is clearly discussed. You got this, and you can see here the concrete examples and abstract examples. Okay, but still, this is another catch. There is nothing wrong. Knowledge is divine. How much ever you take it, it's good for us. But right. So we can also pass constants to abstract class while extending it to subclass, and we have seen that scenario also. I'll just put a piece of code for that as well under that. Okay, passing constants. I think all of you are following, sir. You got it right. This is a good catch again. No, so I only take this small code snippet. No need of the whole code because we have all that is there. Hope that is fine, right, sir? All of you. Or we can just take this point and put it here. From that we can add this code. Right. That's it, sir. This is the idea about the abstract classes. So we have covered everything here. Abstract classes are what? Just method signatures. And second thing is what? Sorry, not abstract classes. Abstract methods. Sorry, abstract methods are method signature. Just method signatures. No body, and we should override it in a subclass. And when you declare abstract method in a class, the class should be declared as abstract, right? And another important point is if you have multiple abstract methods, all abstract methods has to be overridden in the subclass. Otherwise, the subclass also has to be declared as abstract. These points are clear, right? Hope these are crystal clear for everyone. So what I want is now, can you please test this code yourself now? However you like it in all the different ways. First example, without constructor, you can try to apply overriding. And second example, with constructor, you can apply overriding. Third case, with constants, you can try. You can take three examples, three use cases, and apply on that, so that you get that level by level improvement in the enhancements in the abstract class. How it has grown, you get a pretty much better idea like this. First, you test this example. Example one is this, like this. Let's slowly grow it instead of growing all together. Okay, this is case one, sir. It's just a simple case. No need of AB here because this is a plain and simple example. This is also plain and simple example. Okay. And you don't need this two. Just create an object and just call this. Enough. And you can call the three. Test this example first, sir. So, what is the scope of abstract classes in Scala? That we see in the official talk because they were giving it very clearly here. The concept, when you look at these programs now, it's a cakewalk for all of us, anyhow. But for now, you test this course. Take 5 minutes and test it. All the three cases. If anybody wants any help, then you can ask me. If you want code or anything, let me. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I forget. I'm copying and pasting all this stuff. Although I am sometimes I am forgetting, but anyhow, you can take the document. I'll put it this thing. There's this scenario, sir. This is scenario one. Then with the override the methods, you can add multiple abstract methods. Also, you can apply that the otherwise case also. Suppose you don't override it in the subclass, then you need another concrete subclass. Please confirm once you are done, sir. Okay, is it done, sir? So this is second style. Okay, you can also test it. If you have already tested it, no need of it, sir. So tomorrow I will explain like the purpose and usage, like where should we apply it for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll discuss an abstract concept and then switch to trades. Probably, if possible, this Saturday we will have a class if you have time and if all of you are fine. Our Scala session. Soon, once my Python session is completed, we will start Spark on Sundays, Saturday and Sunday. We'll just start discussing Spark. Okay. Anyhow, this will keep going. Okay, sir. Are you fine now? Is it done? Tested? Finished? Good night. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you.